Hi, I'm Tanya from Pilates Teacher Training, based down in Devon. Welcome. So today's lesson is going to be about neutral spine, neutral pelvis. What I will say about neutral spine and neutral pelvis is Joseph Pilates never actually spoke about either of them. His aim was to take all the curves out of the spine, which is not completely correct, as the spine should have, but I think from his interpretation it was that the spine was strong and flexible. So, over the years, physiotherapists, chiropractors, etc. got hold of it and molded Pilates to what it is today, and this is where the neutral pelvis comes from. They're not completely incorrect with talking about neutral pelvis, but a neutral spine is the natural curves that everybody has in their spine and everybody should have. But sometimes curves can be too big in whichever direction. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through a neutral spine lying on the floor, or neutral pelvis. So I like to have a cushion under my head. Not everybody needs one and not everybody must have one. So the first thing is like, how is your neck? So some of the ladies in our class, we have a lot of older ladies who maybe have a bit of kyphosis, like the rounding of the back. So when they lie down, it's a lot of strain on their neck and their muscles, so they might have an extra cushion. So it just depends on your own posture. But if you take yourself onto your back to start with, so I like it because it's soft and it's a bit more luxury for me, but you can have your head on the floor or maybe a little towel. So the thing to start becoming aware of is, what part of your spine do you feel on the floor? So the area I'm focusing mostly at this point is the lower back. So some people will naturally be like that. Some people, and I'm going to exaggerate it, will naturally be like that. Your challenge is to bring yourself into the center point. So between your coccyx and the elastic band of your trousers is a really hard part of the pelvis called the sacrum, and that's the area that we want to settle into. So you can just roll your hips back and forward and let yourself settle into the center of that. So what I say to clients is, if you look at your two hip bones over there and your pubic bone, if you make a triangle, so you put your thumb pads onto your hips, 4 fingers on your pubic bone, and then your thumbs together. What I say to ladies, it's your fanny or your bits, you can touch it if you want, no one's going to be embarrassed. So, neutral pelvis, if you had a cup of tea there, imagine that's a cup of tea in a saucer, you're going to put that on top of your hands. So it should be nice and level. If you are in this position and your hips are there, so your cup of tea is running down you can see it's not straight. Or vice versa, it might be that way. So you want to aim to get that parallel to the ground, into that position. So that will be a neutral pelvis. That should encourage the rest of your spine into a neutral spine. So you can see I've got a curve under my lower spine, completely normal, natural curve. And then the shoulders and the head. Allow your shoulders to relax. So sometimes it depends if you're tight, they might be up there. So just let them settle a bit. Lengthen your neck so that you're pulling your ears away from your shoulders. And you want to do a little bit of a chin tuck here. So rather than having your chin up there, draw your chin down to stretch off the back of the neck. And then this is also a good part, is your knees. So if we say to people, have your knees hip width apart, women tend to go there because they think those are their hips, that is hip width. When we say hip width apart, we are meaning the sockets of the hips. So where your thigh bone goes inside of your hip joint, that is hip width. So these bony structures on the front of your pelvis, your knees should be in alignment with that. And then your feet are in line with your knees. And again, if you tend to have toes that turn in or out, be conscious of that. So come into seated, make sure your toes are facing that way, your knees are there, and then down into there. Think of your cup of tea, and then relax back. So that is your neutral spine. Now when it comes to doing exercises, There's different trails of thought depending on where you've done your training. I know in America there's east side and west side or something like that. Some schools teach all the exercises from a neutral pelvis position, so they don't want any curve, they don't want the spine to change shape during the exercises. Some schools teach with a flat back, so they've got their back drawn down. None of them are wrong, they are just different. So sometimes I might teach a class that said, right class, this week we are focusing on a neutral spine. So when we do the exercises, we want to maintain the exact position the spine is in. And then another week I might say, right, we're going to do flat back this week. So the whole point of Pilates is contrology. That's what Joseph Pilates originally called it. So we should be able to control our body no matter what we want it to do. Whether you do neutral spine or neutral or flat back. So they're not wrong, they're just different. In case you ever go to another school or something like that and they're talking about it. Just checking with my husband if I've left anything out. No. So that is neutral pelvis, neutral spine. It's the starting position when we're on our back for most of the exercises for Pilates. So you can get down on your mat and give it a go and see how you get on. I'm Tanya and I'll see you on one of our beginners courses soon. Take care. Bye.